because the Children's Commissioner for England, Dame Rachel de Souza, she says the smacking ban we've got in Scotland and Wales should be extended to England.
Well, currently it is unlawful for a parent or carer in England to smack their child, except where this amounts to reasonable punishment. But is smacking your child an effective method of discipline, or does it encourage violent behaviour in later life? And do these bans actually work?
Let's talk to the journalist Hilary Freeman and Deputy Director of the Christian Institute, Simon Calvert, who join us to debate this issue. Good morning to you both. Let's go ladies first, if I can be old-fashioned. What's your view?
I think that there should definitely be a smacking ban. There is in many other countries in Europe. Basically, children are not your property. You're not allowed to go out and hit somebody else. If you're on a train and someone annoys you or they misbehave, you can't spank them, you can't slap them or kick them or punch them. You'd get arrested for assault. So why is it different with children? Why are we allowed to hit children?
Well, but Hilary, don't you accept, though, that children are very, very different to adults? You also can't force an adult to be strapped into a pushchair if they don't want to. A parent has to use some sort of physical force or restraint, particularly when children are small.
Well, I don't think that you have to be violent in order to get a child into a pushchair. Corporal punishment is usually used. I have a 9-year-old child, so I've been there. I know what it's like. I've never hit my child. I've never needed to hit my child, and I just don't see why. It's not a valid argument. If you're, it's just bad parenting. And usually what it is losing control. When people hit their child, it's because they've lost control. It's not about teaching them how right from wrong, because hitting someone, being hit, does not teach you anything. I mean, so let's say they can't get you into the pushchair, so they manhandle you a bit. So what happens when you steal a sweet? Do they hit you harder? And then if you do something really bad, they knock you out? It doesn't teach you anything other than violence.
Let's bring Simon Calvert in. Simon, do respond to that, because I imagine you disagree with pretty much all of it.
I mean, it's hard to know where to start. I mean, I don't think Hilary's being fair by talking about slapping, kicking and punching, which she just did, because, of course, those things are already illegal. I also don't think she's been fair to parents by suggesting that smacking is something that you do when you lose control. I think that's highly patronising to parents. There are plenty of good parents, and I was one of them when my kids were young. You make a judicial decision that having used lots of other techniques, and you talk to your kids and you engage with them and you try and help them to understand. But there's a point where, for certain things, when kids are little, a tap on the back of the hand is just a way of emphasising the seriousness of something. And I want to be very clear here. The law that Hilary wants is a law that criminalises the mildest possible physical interactions between parents and their children. The law is called the reasonable chastisement defence. So slapping, kicking, punching, doing anything that leaves more than temporary reddening of the skin is already illegal. So by definition, the only thing we're going to criminalise, if we change the law in the way that Hilary wants, are the mildest possible interactions. And I just think most people will think that that's wrong. I think that they'll think that that's damaging to families. I think that they'll think that that distracts police and social services from real cases of abuse. And this idea that it teaches violence, again, that's so patronising. 4 out of 5 adults were smacked themselves as children, and they know that it didn't turn them into, brutes constantly out looking for a fight. It's very patronising, and it's very dangerous kind of talk. I think that we should be supporting good parents, not patronising them and terrifying them with a criminal law when they're just trying to do their best for their kids.
Hilary, there is obviously... Sorry, do respond to that, Hilary.
Nobody is going to arrest a parent for giving a little slap on the hand. That's not what it's to do. It's to protect children from more excessive violence. Sarah Cherie's dad... No, because Sarah Cherie's dad...
If you change the law, how can you stop that from happening?
Punished her and she died. You cannot expect everybody to understand and be able to be reasonable. So you have to outlaw it altogether, because people cannot... if you're angry with your child, you don't sit there and think, what's reasonable? How hard shall I slap her? How hard shall I tap her?
But surely that's a matter of character, as in all our other interactions are with our children. And everything that Sarah Cherie's father did was illegal. The fact that she died is because he behaved in a criminal way. Do you think that people who are already inclined to behave like that towards their children would be stopped by a ban on a slap on the hand?
No, I don't think that violent abusers would be stopped, but they might be recognised sooner. And you know, because children would also know, but it would become part of the culture. That's the thing. You can't change the culture overnight. It's about stopping parents from viewing their children as their property, as you know, as not human beings in their own right who have rights.
Nobody says that children are the property of the parents.
Well, some parents believe that.
It's quite unfair. It's a terrible characterisation. And this idea that you would help identify abusers by filling up the criminal justice and social work system with parents who've done nothing wrong is balmy, frankly.
Well,
we're running out of time.
Yeah,
we'd like to keep
leave
it
it
on.
there.
But thank you very much. That's Hilary Freeman, the journalist Simon Calvert from the Christian Institute.